Hi, welcome back to my channel, you guys. You know it is Thursday. It is time for a new video. So the point of today's video is to go over my fall 2018 schedule. I thought that would help so you could see what we did in the fall semester. I know it was very crazy and very exciting to start school. And so I thought I would share just how our schedule went. You can find this information online too. I know they have quite older schedules for Howard's Dental School. I just wanted to give you guys a more updated one from last year. I'm just going by what I can recall. I know I can't recall everything, so I probably should have done this video 10 years sooner, but I hope you guys will still appreciate this video. So let's get into it. And I will be putting on my glasses because I need to see. Okay, let's get started. So what I have pulled up right now is the 2018 to 2019 academic calendar and schedule, the one that was finalized right before we started school. So the one thing you need to learn when you come to Howard is that you need to read, and read again, okay? This is a very extensive academic calendar. It is 84 pages, okay? Please do read when you get here. It has practically all the answers that you're going to need to all of the questions that you're probably going to have. So this calendar will go through the grading scale. It'll go through abbreviations that we have that occur on this calendar, such as SCR being the smart classroom. And also has exam procedures, so what to do when you walk into exam, how early you're supposed to be coming into exam, and things like of that nature. So the first section is a very extensive fall semester academic calendar, and that's why I'm skipping it and going straight to section 2, which is just going to talk about strictly the class schedule for the fall semester. So right here, as you can see, section 2 for our dental students and dental hygiene. So when we scroll down, the first group that you'll see are the D1 students. So this is the schedule we're going to be looking at today. I did want to go down here and show you the breakdown of the credits from our semester. So as you can see, obviously, general anatomy is going to take up those 8 credits out of 21 that we took our fall semester. Coming right behind that is 4 with biochem and histology, then 3 with dental anatomy, and tied for 1 credit would be our ethics and professionalism class, as well as the intro to clinical dentistry. So that is the breakdown, okay? That is why some people always stress about anatomy, because of those 8 credits. I do attest to the fact that I think because it's combined with the anatomy lab, that's why it's weighted so much, but it's so important for us to make sure we know our general anatomy. So let's go ahead and go back to this. Obviously I'm fumbling because I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's okay, it's a learning process. Anyway, so this is our fall semester. I'm just gonna go each day at a time, and if I can remember any extra stuff, I will. I'm gonna tell you how many exams we had, how many quizzes, and if we also had papers as well. So starting with this beautiful blocked out Monday schedule, okay? 8 to 12, or essentially 8 to 1 on Mondays. For the first 2 weeks of fall, we were free to have that for studying time, for anything that we needed, because we didn't have any examinations until the 3rd week. So beautiful. In the fall semester, our lunch schedule was assigned for 12 to 1, well, 12 to 12:50. Also do take notice that at the end of each class, it should be about a 10-minute break in between. I will let you know, sometimes you will not get those 10 minutes. You'll be lucky if you get 5, because there's just so much information for all of us to learn. So please don't be upset when you don't get those times. I know we were pretty upset sometimes, but yeah, it's crazy, especially because you're gonna stay in the same room, which leads me to my next point. Items in red, right? That's gonna tell you where all of these classes are gonna be located. SDR, like I said, is a smart classroom. It's infamously known as the place where the D1s spend most of their time, and it is true. We basically never left that room. A little bit frustrating, but I think I probably will miss it. So that's this. All of these are in SCR. This number right here, this is in the medical school for anatomy lab, and this is in the 2nd floor of the dental school. So, like I said, Monday at the beginning, basically we're free until we started to have exams. Then our Mondays the entire Monday would probably look like an examination day. Sometimes histology would just keep their time slot and have their exams within this time slot. I think another time it got moved up. So Monday is basically your main day of having examinations. I know one of the questions will be, do we only have exams on Monday? The answer is no, okay? You can have exams any day of this week, okay? They can have them on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it doesn't matter. I know this says exams, but it's just a nice time slot put there so that they can have their exams in there. Sometimes we may clash with other classes and we have to have it during the week, or it might not be from 8 to 12, it might be in the afternoon, but just know that a majority of your exams will take place on that Monday time in the morning slot. The rest of your exams can happen anytime that they would like to have you have the exam. So going with histology, I love this class, especially because the professor that was over the class, right? He was super organized. So I'm gonna show you guys this Excel sheet that he provided us with. If it loads, fantastic. So as you can see down here, he has all the weeks out here for us. Evaluations, that's just showed the last examinations. So for histology, we had 3 lecture exams and 3 lab exams. And you can see that in these, I think week 5 is when we had the first exam. Exactly. So the times were to be announced and etc. But he was always on top of it and always made sure we knew when things were happening. Let's see. What I liked about this was that in parentheses, he would always let us know which professor would be teaching, which was absolutely amazing because each professor has their own teaching style. Like I said before, sometimes you may want to print out the lecture. Sometimes you may want to draw on the lecture if you have like a tablet or an iPad. Other times you will want to type your life away. I know for histology, like I said before, I love to draw on my iPad when I had it, just so I could circle and identify the things in lab, or if they would say it in lecture, I know what we're talking about. Another pointer that I did want to say about this is that we didn't have any quizzes, we didn't have any pop quizzes for this class, and we did not have any papers for this class. But what we did have was lab combined into these time slots as you see in the calendar. So we meet 3 times, well, we met, because I'm speaking about my own experience, we met 3 times a week in the afternoon for histology. Some of those times were dedicated to lecture, some of the times were dedicated to lab. So that was great in this Excel sheet that he provided us with. He told us when we were going to lab and what the lab was going to be about. So we just come to class. I also did a video of this in one of my blogs. I can't remember which blog it was, but in one of them, I do talk about going to lab and what we do. So that was pretty good because we got to kind of take a break from the lecture information and just look at the slides. And it wasn't like a real slides where we had to do gram sitting and all that fun stuff just so we can look in a microscope. It was an online histology lab. I absolutely love that. Okay, the next thing was intro to clinical, but that class was essentially all on Blackboard. We had 2 exams, I believe, which was one of them was a midterm, the second one was a final. We didn't have any quizzes, if I recall correctly. They were actually just weekly discussion posts, and we had no papers, but we did have to create a website. So we had a group of people and we had to create a website for each of the specialties. And I know that's gonna change because dentistry just gained a new specialty, okay? If you didn't know, you should know. I posted about that on Instagram, so if you follow me, you would know that. You would know that, okay? So the next thing I want to say about intro to clinical was that even though it's in this time slot from 4 to 5, because everything is essentially on Blackboard, the professor, we really never met with the professor unless the professor wanted to speak with us about something or have an allotted time for questions, which was very rare because all of his information was straightforward on Blackboard, very easy to follow. So I did thoroughly enjoy that class. Let's go ahead and move on to Tuesday. So Tuesday, we're gonna see that we have biochem in the entire morning on 2 days out of the 5 days out of the week. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, our class had biochemistry. I know this says biochem lab. We actually didn't have a biochem lab, which I was really ecstatic about because I did not take biochem lab in undergrad. So I was like, oh my gosh, I hope we're not gonna do something I've never done before. So there is no lab. It just does lab, but there's no lab. This is gonna just take up time of lecture stuff. This professor was also very awesome about his schedule. Color coded, okay? Look at this beautiful, look at this. It's so gorgeous. I love schedules that are written like this. They also give us the professors that are gonna be teaching, what we're gonna be talking about, although sometimes the titles of the topics did not match with the title of the PowerPoint. That's okay, you figured it out. You realize, okay, just gotta click on the tab for the professor that's teaching and then find their lectures. An awesome thing about this schedule too is that you see how everything is supposed to start at 8 o'clock. Well, for biochem, not every time would class start at 8 o'clock because he's super awesome. He would give us allotted independent study time. I don't know if you see that right here. This is independent study time. So that's when you don't have to come into class this time, right? You just need to be there for this next class right here, 12 to 2. And then you notice what happens after, what did I just read? 10 to 12, my apologies, 10 to 12. And then you'll notice that you go straight to lunch and then you'll go to your next class. So that was pretty awesome about biochem. So biochem, we had 4 exams with an optional final. There were no quizzes, no pop quizzes, and no papers, but this class was pretty straightforward. I think the first exam for me was basically undergrad. It was super straightforward. Some other stuff he did teach us that I know I didn't learn in undergrad. I had to get that together. But there were, speaking from my own experience, there were 4 exams and then there was an optional final. Moving on to the next portion of the syllabus schedule is anatomy. So anatomy is 3 times of the week. So you'll notice that the 8 credit course, right, we're gonna meet 3 times. Once we met on Tuesday in the afternoon, then we met the next day, Wednesday in the morning, and then the next day we met, we met on Friday in the morning. Okay, so general anatomy is, we had met, I'm sorry, I keep thinking like I'm telling you as if you're gonna have the same exact thing, and I don't know if you will. So they also gave us a really, really detailed schedule with I just love detailed schedules. I really, really do. In red, they would tell you which week we're in. They would have the dates in there. Independent study, so you don't have to be there the entire time. The times, they'd write it there too, so you know that, okay, I don't need to be there. D is for the dissector. So we get a dissector, you get a huge book with pictures, that's what I'm gonna call it right now. And you just had to correlate the dissector with what we were doing. Read ahead, know what the structures you're looking for in lab. So that's what this board is, the lab assignments, right? And then we have a lecture and exam schedule on this side. And then you also have the professors that teach. So some professors, it's basically all pictures, and you need to be typing your whole entire life away. The outlines that they provide you for this class, sometimes they're not very detailed, so you need to be ready to take notes. You need to be attentive, you need to be listening. Some of the other professors would have a lot of information on the slides or a lot of information on the outlines, so it was great to just prepare for class, follow along, highlight where you wanted to ask a question. But yeah, so this class, super, super organized. It was absolutely wonderful. How many exams did we have? We had 4 lecture exams, 4 lab exams, 4 lecture quizzes, 0 lab quizzes, and 0 papers for this course. Go on Tuesday, we had biochem in the morning, possibly not having to come in at 8 because of what? Our independent study. And then we had lunch, then we went to anatomy, and we went home in lab. And this is the time where you could wear those scrubs and change into scrubs. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a strong smell of formaldehyde. Bring a change of clothes, please. I was super extra and I brought extra pair of shoes as well. So I left those shoes in my locker. I never wore them anywhere else. They have not touched base back at my apartment. So, okay. And then we go Wednesday morning into anatomy with anatomy lab, then lunch, then like I said, histology meets 3 times a week. So we're back to histology, and we have this wonderful gap down here for self-directed learning. I do want to say that not all this time will the self-directed learning be yours. Sometimes things may happen, or the weather may cause a class to be canceled, or something goes wrong, right? And that self-directed learning really is up to the professors to use. So you get 3 to 5, right, for that to be your own time. Maybe a lecture didn't get to be finished for anatomy, or a professor couldn't come and they have to use this hour out of your 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So not all the time will this self-directed learning be yours necessarily. Same thing with biochem too. They have the right to cut down on the directed learning time or independent study time to ensure that you're getting all the information. So there's that on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning we're back to biochemistry, then we go to lunch, then we're back to microanatomy, which is what's called histology, so you can see in parentheses, and then we go to our ethics and professionalism class. I don't have the syllabus pulled up for it, but we did have one midterm examination. I think we're supposed to have two, but then the second part of the examination turned into, there's noise outside. The second examination ended up being a paper instead. Did we have quizzes in this class? All the time. Oh, all the time. If there's a class you want to be prepared for a pop quiz, it is ethics and professionalism, okay? You get, I think, 2 booklets for the ethics portion, right? And well, that's both combined. You get 2 booklets that you need to read. You need to know it inside and out. It's great information, super straightforward in my mind, but you have to understand the correct definitions that they're giving you in this class. Because for me, I think I interpreted the definitions incorrectly, and that would lead to me answering questions incorrectly. So this class, okay, you need to read. Like I said, when you come to Howard, the first thing you need to know is that you need to read, okay? And then read again and read again. So for this class, definitely be ready for pop quizzes. I think it'll definitely be the same, okay? Pop quizzes were there every time. If you thought there was gonna be a pop quiz, that was funny. Should have studied. And then we go to Friday morning, finally the end of the week. We're back to anatomy, back to lab in that morning. Then we have lunch, and then we have this beautiful class, dental anatomy. So, dental anatomy, I do not have the syllabus pulled up for that portion because I mainly looked at the lab for that. We had different teachers at some time, and we had an exchange of professors. So it was a little bit harder for us to, it was a little bit crazy trying to get involved in this dental anatomy class, but this is your basics right here, okay? I understand that this is only 4 credits compared to the 8 huge whopping credits right here, but you have to know your anatomy, because when you go into spring and we go to occlusion, there was 1 review of the anatomy class, and then we jumped straight into occlusion. So this is professional school. This is your livelihood. This is your job. This is what you're gonna be doing for the rest of your life. Everything you learn, please try to take it in and soak it in, okay? Not saying that I know from experience. Anyway, we would have this class. Yes, there were pop quizzes. I do believe that we're supposed to have a specific amount. I'm looking at my notes. I think it's supposed to be 4 to 6 or something like that. I can't remember, but there would be pop quizzes, and there's not 4 or 6 weeks, so you never know when you're gonna get a quiz. One time we had a quiz at the beginning of class from the last lecture, and at the end of the class from the last lecture. So super crazy. Just be ready and on your toes to be quizzed, because they just want you to be your best, honestly. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but they really do want you to be your best. We had 2 exams. We had the midterm and the final, and then we had an extra exam, so I guess 3 exams, which was an oral tooth exam. So we would be presented with a tooth, and the professor would say, what's this? Like, they'd point to this and they'd say, what's this on this tooth? Or they'd say, identify the numbers of this tooth, or of these teeth. Tell me what's the difference between these teeth. How do you know that this is the tooth that goes in the upper right quadrant? How do you know this is the tooth? How do you know this is a mandibular tooth? So that was kind of stressful for me. I definitely feel like I had a little panic attack, but we're okay. In this afternoon section, it would, I'm just gonna check my notes, my planner to double check, but I think it swapped every week about who had lab that week. So section 1 was usually, last name A through last name L, and then section 2 would be last name L through last name Z. So every other week you would have we had dental anatomy lab. This chair is super squeaky, and I'm so sorry if you could hear it during the entire video, but that is essentially it. We did have a lab paper for that dental anatomy class on the gag reflex, so that was interesting to refresh your memory on what you're learning in anatomy lab. Yes, you guys, I hope you liked it. I hope it was good and informative and just give you some type of idea of what to expect when you're coming in for your first semester of dental school here at Howard. I know things are going to start changing because of the integrated boards, but that's my 2 cents on what's happening. I can't wait to see what the changes are going to look like and how different it's going to be. But yeah, this is just my take on it, my perspective. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'm gonna get going. I have to go. Yeah, okay, bye.